Hey everyone, so right now I'm just waiting to go into a store, and I thought right now would be a perfect time to update you on everything. And for those of you that did miss my first life updated video, I will go ahead and just insert it right here, or if you want to watch it separately, then go ahead and skip over to this timestamp right here, or if you watched it already, then go ahead and skip over to it. It's up to you. So I pretty much told you the situation about my dad and his current health condition at that time, and you know, after I made that video, things took a huge turn once he got on the intubator and sedated into a coma state. And they said they can leave him on there for 10 to 14 days, but in his condition that I explained in my other video, they really wanted to see improvement within a couple days. So the first day they put him on the intubator, they said, you know, he was stable, but whenever they would try to give him like a bath or just try to sit him up or get him into a different position, his, you know, heart rate would go up way too high. And then on the second day, they're giving him the maximum oxygen, and you know, his levels were just still dropping, and he was just getting worse and worse. And on the third day, which was August 24th, his kidneys were starting to fail, and they also were taking, you know, chest x-rays, and they saw a really big mass, and they're saying that the cancer was taking over. And since he got the chemotherapy, or like a new treatment that didn't work, it lowered his immune system, and he had no antibodies. So on the third day, you know, when his kidneys were failing, trying to decide should they give him dialysis, you know, so what happened was, you know, my mom got a translator for her language, and my grandma was there. The doctor came in, the pulmonary doctor, and I was on the phone because, you know, I am 1,300 miles away. So I was on the phone, and the doctor just said everyone needs to be on the same page. So I knew in this conversation it wasn't going to be a good conversation. I knew it was going to be about pulling the plug, and it was. You know, he wasn't pushing, but he was saying that, you know, for my dad, he didn't have a meaningful recovery, and he was just going to slowly die. So the doctor was explaining, you know, his body is now in a state of shock. He is no longer creating urine, and he, you know, had sepsis. I'm guessing the sepsis caused the shock, so the infection in his blood, and the cancer was just taking over, and he just didn't have antibodies to fight any of it. And the doctor said, you know, they gave him all of the options for medication to treat, you know, the infections that he had, but you know, without a strong immune system and antibodies to fight, the medicine just can't do anything. And the doctor said that, you know, they'll put him in comfort care, which was to stop the medication, stop the therapy, stop trying to save, you know, him and prolonging his life because he was suffering, just laying there, you know, never being able to come out of it. There was no choice, really. But it was just really hard to accept because my dad, you know, he survived 12 years. So we're all thinking like, you know, he's going to pull through this. He always does, you know. So he said that, you know, we're going to stop. My mom agreed. Everyone agreed that we should stop the treatment and go towards comfort care, so passes away without pain and suffering and just at peace. And my mom, she just had a really hard time, and I'm just so happy I could be there to support her, even though it's through the phone. At that time, my mom said okay to stop, and the doctor and the nurse said, you know, you have today or tomorrow to decide when you're ready. And my mom called me. My grandma said she said her goodbyes, and it's just horrible to watch my dad just in that condition, just suffering. And my mom called me, and she was like, you know, Krista, tell me when you're ready to pull the plug. And you know, I told my mom, you know, I said bye to dad when I was there, and he was able to talk to me, and I said, Mom, if you didn't get to say goodbye, I think you should say bye. And so she spent about an hour in there, you know, just her and my dad. She was talking to him, and then she calls me and she's like, okay, Krista, I'm ready. Crying, of course. So she's like, do you want to say goodbye to your dad? You know, I said goodbye already, but I knew my mom needed to hear me say goodbye. So it was really hard to say goodbye again. I was like choking up, but I said, you know, wait for mom, butterscotch, you know, and, you know, I was just saying all the things that I needed to say, and my mom loved hearing it. And you know, after that, she told a nurse, and they told them to go waiting room. They don't like people watching, pulling the ventilator and all of that. So the doctor was right. He passed very quickly because of his condition. He was critically ill. And, you know, the doctor said that if my dad was a healthy person, this would be a different situation, but he has that cancer. And, you know, the average life expectancy with multiple myeloma is 5 years. He lived 12, so the max is like 10. So he lived an extra 2 years. It's just so heartbreaking. When I went to the house and my dad like prepared, you know, the doors, and he just had so many handicap things placed, and, you know, he was ready to pass away in his house, and it's devastating to know that he didn't. And Butterscotch, my heart breaks. So on the 24th, my mom told me that she saw Butterscotch just crying. It's my 14-year-old dog, and let me tell you, that dog loved my dad, and my dad loved that dog like a man's best friend is Butterscotch. And she was telling me that Butterscotch doesn't even want to move or anything. It's just so heartbreaking. And, you know, my mom did say she felt like a chill. The other day I did feel that as well. So my dad did pass on August 24th, and I just really wanted to make this video because I am going up for the funeral, and there are going to be days I'm probably going to miss on here, and I just want you to know why, and I just want you to know that I did lose my dad. And, you know, I mentioned that I didn't have a really much of a relationship with my dad for many reasons that I just don't feel is appropriate to talk about on here, but it was really nice to, you know, do the hard thing, go up there, say my goodbyes, and just get the closure that I needed and give forgiveness. And it was really hard. So if you're ever in a situation where you're not sure if you should go or not, like in my situation, I say go, because if you don't go, you are going to regret it. And I don't want any of you to feel regret for the rest of your life, because every choice you make, it will be with you forever. So I feel really good that I did go. I got my closure. I feel like my dad got his peace from me. And, you know, when I said goodbye that day, he was doing so great. I just feel like the universe gave him his last day a chance of forgiveness, and also a chance to enjoy his last day, to eat, sit up on a recliner. And I am sad, but I know my dad is no longer in pain and struggling. He has been struggling for such a long time, and just knowing that he is in a better place, and knowing that he's no longer, you know, in pain, and, you know, it's just really nice to know that he is in a better place. And in remembrance of my dad, I'm going to go to the funeral and, you know, visit the house, of course. And my mom said I can pick something out of my dad's office, so I decided to go ahead and get, you know, his little world map pin board. They don't even make this anymore, like the old school ones. And he put like a red pin to all the places that we have ever been to and traveled to since he was in the military, served, you know, the full 26 years. And, you know, people like him are the reason we have these freedoms. So I decided I'm going to take that pin board, I'm going to leave all of his red pins, and I'm going to get blue pins. So when me and my family travel, I'm going to place the pins all over there, and if we go to the same spot, I'll just put it right next to the red pin. So that is how I'm going to remember my dad. I want to remember the good things, you know. I don't want to dwell on bad things, and I have forgiveness, and of course I'm going to get therapy to move more forward in my life. But I'm so happy that I did go, and I just want to say that you need to go if you're questioning if you should or not, if you are in that situation. I just felt like I needed to say that. And remember, you can never control how other people will react or treat you, but you can always control how you will treat others, and do it for you. Even if you give forgiveness, I just want you to know that you are not weak. You are doing it for yourself, and the weight is amazing when the weight has been lifted, when you find enlightenment and forgiveness. So that's how I want to end this video, on a positive note. We are going to the funeral. I'm very happy that I'm able to go and spend some time with all of my family and just grieve with them. And I just want you to know that I will go up and down, like happy, sad, you know, I'm going to go through all the motions, and apparently that's normal. And I will have therapy very, very soon for everything that I've been through growing up. I think that's important so I can live a full, happy life, and I'm just ready for the next chapter. And I'm just very happy that I'm able to open up more with you. It's really hard to do that. I've always had a hard time opening up to people, so I really appreciate that all of you are here for me. Much love your way if you are going through anything that's painful in your life. I feel you, and it's the first time I've ever lost someone in my life, and it's just really hard. And I just appreciate all of the love in the comment section. But I really hope that all of you have a wonderful day, and I will see you very, very soon.